Damn. ReZero, episode 18. Jeez. Like, crazy episode. It was a crazy episode. And the best thing about it is that it was all dialogue. It was just all dialogue. And that's what made the episode. Like, it was crazy. Like, it was... I just watched this episode twice now. I've watched it for a second time, and it was just as emotionally draining and impactful as the first time I watched it. The first time I watched it, I did a live reaction to it, and I was just speechless and silent throughout the whole reaction that I just couldn't, talk about it because I was so invested in the dialogue that was going on. And by the time I reached the conclusion to the episode, I was just like, yo, I don't know what to say right now. I have to make a review for this. I have to, give some time in order to, gather my thoughts as to what I feel about the episode. And, just watching it for a second time just to make sure that I didn't miss out on anything, like, I gotta say, it was just as impactful and emotionally draining as the first time I watched it, and it was just such a good episode. This is an episode where we're going to see Subaru, showing more of his human side, and honestly, more of his human side compared to what we saw in episode 13 when he was talking to Amelia and he, just had a tantrum and threw it at her, But in this episode, we get to see Subaru break down. Again, of course. He's just always running away from the problem, and he just doesn't know how to solve the problem to begin with, which is why he gave up. And we actually see some flashbacks from episode 1 before Subaru ended up coming into this newfound world that Subaru has, gotten himself into. When he was at the grocery store, he was saying to Rem that I've always lived a, not so fulfilling life. I just would never do about it. I had all that freedom and all that time to do something about my life and actually turn my life around. But the thing is that I just learned to accept it. And so he just accepted his life for what it was and did nothing about it when he could have done something about it. But the problem is that he just didn't know how to go about changing his life. And this is also, I guess what happened when he came into the world, this newfound world that he has come into. He has no recollection of what this world is about, but to him, this world that he is in is like a second chance in his life for him to start over. But at the same time, he's facing other obstacles that he faced in his life, probably not as traumatizing, mind you, but still, regardless, he wants to save people's lives and actually, have his life, meaningful. He wants to have a meaningful life, but he doesn't know how to go about it as well. And for the second time, mind you, he has given up again. Until, of course, what we see at the end of this episode. But I just gotta say, for you Amelia fans out there, I'm sorry, but Amelia has nothing on Rem. Granted, we haven't really got to see a whole lot of character development regarding Amelia's character, and she hasn't really been showcased a whole lot opposed to Rem, but as of right now, Rem is leagues ahead of Amelia. Like, Rem is one of those girls that you just want to find in life because, she's just willing to accept, you for who you are. And she accepts Subaru for what he is. And she even turned down his proposal in this episode when he said, Rem, let's run away together. And Rem is like talking about all of, this, stuff that she has in mind, that she always had in mind, what she thought of Subaru, her inner feelings of him, that, I'm gonna have a kid with him, I'm going to, open up a shop with him, I'm just gonna spend the rest of my life with him, I love everything about him, his fingers, his eyes, just his personality, it's amazing, and that's what I love about Subaru. But she turned down his proposal because Subaru was just running away from the problem again. And Rem knows that Subaru is running away from the problem, and that's not the type of Subaru that she fell in love with in the first place. She just wants the old Subaru back, the old Subaru that she fell in love with after the events when she went on that rampage, and Subaru put a stop to that rampage. That's what made her fall in love with the Subaru in the first place. And she's just one of those girls that wants to see Subaru succeed and actually be happy in his life. She doesn't want him to simply just give up and take the easy way out. No, sure, it's going to be hard, going through life and, the whole jumping over these obstacles. But if you simply give up, the problem is still going to persist, whether that be physically or mentally. So the only way you're actually going to, stop the problems is to attack them head on. And that's what Rem does in this episode. She motivates Subaru to finally step up. But again, I just gotta touch on, Subaru's statement. When, around 14 minutes in the episode is when he gives his statement. He yells at Rem and says, you know nothing about me, the life I have lived. It was just a very impactful scene. It was a very impactful scene. A lot of people can relate to this problem because a lot of people in life do take the easy way out. They do not, attack their problems head on because it's too stressful on them. And that was something that I really, looked at in the episode of ReZero. I watched it twice and I just could not get enough of Subaru's statement. It was just very impactful, and that's what I loved about the episode, because we get to see the human side of Subaru finally come out. He is finally opening up rather than keeping all of his emotions in. He's not simply just yelling at Rem for the sake of it. He is actually opening up and expressing how he really feels about himself, and we see that he hates himself. He hates himself that he's not able to do anything and become stronger in order to attack these situations head on, and that is something that Subaru needed. He needed Rem to be there in order to motivate him to actually attack these problems head on. And even when Rem was talking to Subaru in the first place, she was like, all you know about is yourself. You are always doubting yourself. If you keep doubting yourself, the problem is never going to be solved. And Rem tells Subaru straight up that all you think about is yourself. Why can't you see the Subaru that I see within you, and it's true that Subaru is only thinking about himself. He's not thinking about how others feel about him or what exactly other qualities he has to his personality that are worth mentioning. And that's what Rem is telling Subaru, and she is trying to explain to him that, there's a lot more to your character that makes you for who you are. Just seeing Subaru chew his mouth off and saying that, he has a very trashy personality, his life is meaningless, and, that his character is rotten, and then you have Rem, explaining all the good qualities about him. It really makes you think. And keep in mind, this was a 25-minute episode. Sure, we had Puck in the beginning. I mean, honestly, when it comes to the whole Puck scene, that really isn't worth mentioning, because all that really goes down within that one scene is that, Subaru's, checkpoint restarts. Probably the only thing that is worth mentioning is the white whale that is supposedly the sin of gluttony. So we have gotten another sin that has been confirmed by Puck, that the white whale represents gluttony. But That's really the only thing that is worth mentioning, and that took about at least 3 minutes of the episode, while the other 22 minutes were just about these two characters, Rem and Subaru, talking as humans, and, you know, just giving, you know, explaining on how they feel about, you know, their lives or about each other. You know, it was just done so well. The execution to the episode on the development through Subaru's character, especially Rem's character. Rem always develops in each episode, it seems like, you know, because she is so awesome. But the execution to this episode was just amazing. I have never seen an episode, I mean, I have seen episodes that are impactful, anime that are very impactful, but an episode that shows two characters talking for the majority of the episode has never been this entertaining, and I haven't been this invested in a series since, you know, like, a long time, like, down to, like, my favorite series of all time. Like, Re:Zero is probably getting there. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest with you, but Re:Zero is getting there to slowly progress to be my favorite of one of my personal favorites, because the execution to the episodes, the drama, the soundtrack is amazing. I need the OST. The OST is amazing, especially in this episode, and it's Re:Zero is doing all the right things. It's doing all the right things for a very, you know, impactful story that makes you want to worry about the characters and how exactly they are going to change and, you know, eventually fix their problem later down the line. And it took Subaru this long to figure out on how exactly he can move forward. So it's episode 18 right now. Next episode is going to be 19, and the next week's episode is officially going to be the start of Subaru's new personality, and he's actually, you know, gonna go from zero to hero now. So that's gonna be pretty excited. You know, I just this episode, it definitely pulled on the heartstrings. It was a very emotional episode. I didn't cry or anything like that. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other people out there who might have, but when it comes to the episode, it was definitely really emotionally draining for me, at least. You know, I was so invested in the episode. If you want to see my live reaction, I'll put it in the comments section or the description down below if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, I think that pretty much does it for my review of this week's episode of Re:Zero. Sorry if it was quite long, but when it came to this episode, there was just a lot to talk about. A lot. So let me know what you guys thought about this review in the comments section down below. And of course, what did you think about this episode? Do you have any theories for the next episode of Re:Zero? But for light novel readers who are actually ahead, who have read like all the arcs and all that, please do not leave any spoilers, because I want to experience Re:Zero for what it is, and I will get to the light novels possibly later. I already read the first light novel, but as of right now, please do not leave spoilers, because I don't want to be spoiled, and I'm pretty sure other people that are watching the anime do not want to be spoiled as well. So please keep that in mind. But yeah, just let me know your overall thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, if you like this video, don't forget to drop a like. It always helps out the channel. And if you want to stick up to date to my future content on this channel, please hit that red subscribe button below, and you will never miss a video from me. That about does it for this video, guys. I sincerely love you all, and thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.